Heroes in Crisis #1, written by Tom King, art by Clayman. Now, when you committed this that there was going to be deaths, when you committed this that there was
Yeah.
going to be upsetting teenagers, we're going to be examining the psyche of the superhero, and so on, and a lot of controversy this week, a lot of reactions to this book. A lot of people are not happy. Where do we begin? I don't know how I want to start this. I don't know. Like, do I want to just say who's dead and just start there?
Well,
Or
No, so
good,
I'll just
bad
say,
feelings.
yeah, so I'll just say this was a much quicker read than I thought.
oh yeah, breeze by.
Like, so when I read it, and then I thought I spent more on it than I did. So then when I found out it was only $3.99, I was like, oh, okay, but I want more of this right now because the way this ends, it feels like part 2 should come out this week, and it's not. So
Matt's
I mean,
upset.
at least it's monthly and not every so often like Doomsday Clock.
yeah. I mean, yeah, but like, I want closure on things, and
Yeah.
this story's dealing with if we had Nightwing after the events of Batman, this story's dealing with like 4 of my top 5 favorite characters, right?
What?
So it's
Harley, Jason.
No. Enough out of you.
Batman.
So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think first thing I'll say is that the book is gorgeous. Every page is a sight to behold. It is
Hey, man.
absolutely
I agree with that.
ridiculously good looking. It is beautiful. More on that as I'm looking through pages in a minute, but
So we know
sounded
Matt's
like
feeling
Zoolander.
is-
Yeah.
Matt's feeling is he needs more.
he needs more.
How do you feel, Pete?
See, I know how you feel, Connor, so you're saving yours for last with all this anticipation, but I know where this is going. I like the book quite a bit. I will say that the thing that's going to cause the most controversy, the thing we're really going to talk about, is oddly numbing. Like it's like, because I feel like, and I believe this with all of my heart, right? For everyone who's listening to this and is in a bad place because of who seems to be dead in this issue, I would bet Connor's life on this right now, that by the end of this story, this will be reversed, or it'll have turned out that it never really happened, right? I am positive of this. There is no way that this is how that one of these characters in particular just dies. Like, it's just like nothing. Like, just open a door. Oh, there it is. They're dead already, right?
No, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
No way that's the case.
So with as we go on, I'll give you my like what I think how it's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think this has earned its crisis in an issue.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And I definitely think going forward, it's going to have to deal with more than just one timeline. So I think that's another way that it's a crisis. But yeah, so do we want to talk about the death that we're all
Well, we
walking
get
around?
Connor's feelings first. He's been cagey.
Oh, okay.
So I would say I more apathetic than I thought was possible reading the first issue of a DC event, where
Oh man.
it's not bad. I don't hate it. I just don't care.
So the guy that works at my shop that I'm kind of close with, he's the one that gives me crap all the time. He was just like, yeah, it's fine, but it's not going to matter. And we ended up having this 10-minute conversation how I think he's wrong about that, because he's very much, when it comes to the big two, any storyline they do doesn't matter because they're just going to change it anyways. But to me, that's comics. That's how comics grow and change, and that's how you have Superman for, 80 years.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But so just to say that just because it's the big two, and these are characters that, can be killed and resurrected and killed again and then resurrected and then changed, and I don't necessarily mean that this story can't matter. So, but Connor, do you ultimately agree that this does matter? Like, you can be apathetic to it, but
I don't
that's
know.
not what's driving your apathy. What's driving your apathy?
It feels. Maybe it is that I feel like it doesn't matter. That I don't care about anything that happens because it feels like it has no weight to it. Like, it feels like shock value. It's like, oh yeah, we said there was going to be deaths. Here's some deaths.
I completely disagree. I am on the opposite side of that.
Oh, this is
where
getting juicy.
It
Conflict.
no, it totally affected me, and I feel that this has weight because of the way that King has decided to tell the story.
I might change my mind as the story goes on. I might go, do you know what? This is starting to work for me in this issue. I don't care.
Here's the thing. What I'm getting, this is the harsh open where we don't really get a good sense of like the context, right? Because we don't get an introduction to Sanctuary, even though we kind of know what Sanctuary is just from bits and pieces and news here or there over the past while.
There you go.
We don't get like a solid introduction to this issue of what Sanctuary really is, and it just kind of opens with something bad's already happened, and we get this sort of intercuts with this Harley and Booster Gold stuff at the diner, with them. And we get, Superman arriving. Batman's telling him, "Hey, don't touch it. It's a crime scene. Let me do my forensics, because I'm Batman, damn it." Mm-hmm. And Diana's like, "He knows, Bruce. Calm down." By the way, that page of them all flying, that page where they're all flying towards the Sanctuary, gorgeous. One of the best ones.
Yep.
Beautiful. And Superman, and honestly, one of the most heartbreaking ones, because it has these like interlude pages where it's like the people who are at Sanctuary have been interviewed.
Yeah.
Well. And you get one with the Blue Jay, and you get what was the Fire one, Firestarter, whatever his name is.
Let me find him.
The one who says things are just heating up.
Hotspot.
That was it. Thank
you.
Honestly,
I'm just warming up.
The saddest part of this book is when Superman can't remember his catchphrase. See when he's looking at his dead body and he's like, he had a thing that he said. What was it? I can't remember.
That you got the catchphrase wrong there.
That's funny. I did that intentionally. That was for comic effect.
Sure.
What can I say? Hotspot's not exactly a big deal, all right?
Yeah, he's no Cold Snap.
He's no Cold Snap. Hotspot and Cold Snap, man, they're arch nemesis. Nemesis.
Oh, I really hope so.
But so yeah, obviously this is all going on, and I like how King tells his stories typically. He's had some flops here or there. I like the tone of the story. I like the setup of the mystery of what's going on. I like the sense of tragedy. The part that leaves me a little bit numb is the shock value that they're trying to go for with who's dead behind the door, right? So here we're going to talk about it.
Just in case, really spoilers.
Yes, really spoilers here, right? We have kept it until now.
You've probably seen it online already because the internet's dicks.
Yes. Opens the door and Roy's there dead. I'm like, I can live with that. And Wally's also dead.
Fair enough.
And it's like, oh man. And like, this is because obviously everyone up until now, it's that Suicide Squad thing where you've got your two new no names who are there to prove that the bomb's in the next work, but they don't kill any of the main characters, right? That's who you get first with the Blue Jay and the Hotspot, and then you get into the house, and that's when you get Wally and Roy, and it's like, oh shit, these are real characters. These are characters that we care about. And
well, you also have Commander Steel, right?
Sure.
In there, Lagoon Boy, who I recognize. He's a Z-lister, but still, he ran with the Titans.
Yeah.
The one that got me was Blue Jay because I'm looking at the page of the birds eating, and I was like, that's weird. That looks like they have a mask. Like, and then you turn the page and it's Blue Jay in his confessional, and you see the mask, and they're like, "Oh man, that's brutal."
Yeah.
It's one of those. It's so what you don't see.
Yeah. Just for the record, I know these are pre-established characters. They're just very obscure ones. Because I said no names. They just introduced for the sake of killing for Suicide Squad. Yeah. I'm all for killing the big characters eventually. But I'll say this. I am far more interested in killing Bruce, Clark, or Diana than I am killing Wally, Cass, or, pick a Robin.
See,
do you know what, that's the one
Except
thing
Jason.
That makes
Jason
me
can go before Batman.
Yeah.
It's for the record.
The one thing that makes me go, well, could this be real? And we're all kind of of the mindset at the minute going, nah, probably not, right?
Now, it's real. I'm mourning.
No, I think because of how they reveal it, unless they spend time over the next 9 issues making it feel more important retroactively by building up what their death means, I can't believe this is a death because it's such a small moment.
I know they're trying. But here's the thing: that the reason why I could believe it is Didio's back in charge now, right? And Didio hates legacy characters, and this coming a week after or 2 weeks after the Nightwing thing.
You say he's back in charge, but he's always been in charge.
No, but Johns has been the one calling the shots for the past 2 years until recently, where He stepped off to do his own side label, and Didio's come back in to lead the charge.
Yeah, but I feel like Heroes in Crisis has been in development for longer than Didio would have time to screw it up.
I feel this feels like fear mongering to me, in a mild way, and I would say, you know what? If we get to the end of this story and Wally's actually dead, then we can have this conversation. Right now, I think this is baseless.
No, I'm saying that's the only thing in my mind that makes me go, well, maybe is that this isn't Wally on the floor. It's just a middle finger to Jeff.
I think this is ignoring the idea that Didio actually learned something from the New 52 being a massive failure that everyone hated.
Yep.
Right.
If we all had money down on who was dying, none of us had actually money on Wally, right? Like,
yeah, not until like spoilers and leaks and rumors started coming out about it.
Exactly. So like from everything that I had seen with Wally, it was like, oh, he's just going to be a side character in this, and like, oh no, my money was on Kyle Rayner, right? Because
that would have been way more satisfying.
Well, see, it would have been.
Shut your face.
It wouldn't have been as affecting. The fact, like, I turn that page and Wally's laying sprawled out, and Superman goes, "Wally's confirmed." Like, he's known Wally since Wally was.
Joe, what's funny about this?
Right.
Joe, what's funny about this is that if you go back to the Titans issue last year, where Wally's heart stopped, there was a joke afterwards where Nightwing said, "Hey, can you stop dying, please?" And that's just really funny to me now.
I think Matt, you're talking about your reaction when you turn that page. Is I had the complete opposite reaction. I turn the page, and I see, oh, it's Wally, and I mean, Roy, whatever. Roy's probably fair game. It's Wally with Haga. Okay then.
This is the thing, though. This is partly why I don't think this is sticking. Whatever way it is, and even if technically it sticks at the end of this book, and that'll still be kind of a problem. But at the same time, what about the end of Doomsday Clock when the world gets reset or they change things again? Like,
is this going to finish before Doomsday Clock? We're 9 issues now instead of 7. Should finish in May, so it's got 2 months on it.
That's close enough where we'll be getting solicits for things as that's coming out that are after Doomsday Clock. So, do you know what? I wonder if this is actually something why they added those 2 issues into the main book to sort of draw it out to around the same time.
Maybe.
This is interesting.
So, my thoughts on Wally just were, I felt like a family member had died, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but like, Wally's my Flash. So when I turned the page and he's laying there, I went and I was like, no, that's not Wally. It was like a legit, like when you find out a family member has died and it takes a second to sink in, and you're just like, no, someone's lying to me.
And do you know the other thing that's getting me about this is that Williamson's run on Flash, not only have I always had the impression that Wally's coming back to it at some point, even the way he deals with it in this week's Flash issue by hinting that something's happened, it doesn't, like, I've not heard anything from Williamson that sounds like he's upset that he can't use Wally anymore. It sounds like that everything sounds like it's all part of the plan.
So let's continue talking about, because we see Booster and Harley, they start fighting at the diner, and you think, well, Harley's snapped because of what we know about Harley and what we know about Booster. But it turns out that actually Harley thinks Booster is responsible for all the deaths at Sanctuary.
Yeah, but they think each other's responsible, essentially.
Right. And then
I did think Harley was a little bit more manic than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't, just the way she's like, see everywhere a stab, like, I mean, right, okay, I get it. Harley's crazy.
But I bought that as she's just witnessed people being murdered, assuming she's not the killer. So she's in a more frantic state than normal.
Yep.
I mean, this is like 20 seconds after she eats a slice of pie, so.
Aye, but
she's awesome.
Like you say, she's crazy. She's gone back and forth, but she's just went through this big trauma. That's what I took that as. I was fine with it.
Fair enough.
Right, and so, and it ends with Booster, and his talking about how,
It's in the interview, just to clarify.
Yeah, during the interview, and he says everyone's messed up, including good old Booster Gold, and so he says, "I'm here, I'm ready, I'm talking, help me." So, oh man, I don't want to think that it's Booster, but if it is, I also think like there's ways to fix it because timey-wimey. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's the back door is when you do something with the time traveler. You
Yeah,
know?
I feel like the way the comics like audience reacts to books is very reactionary, and we see it all the time where something's set up in issue 1 or 2, everyone reacts as if everything's changing, but it's like no, wait till the story ends and see how it actually deals with something.
Well,
I think what
King.
I think what the comics community don't as a whole, or at least the vocal ones who get really loud on Twitter and
Complain.
stuff like that. What they don't really stop and think is how is this actually building the drama in the story right now? What is it doing to the characters that are here?
Right.
How is Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman reacting to this? What is the mystery here between Booster Gold and Harley? And if you don't think any of this works, then that's fine. And I know some people are just upset because this is like a really dark story where the whole point of Rebirth is that we're going to get away from dark. I don't necessarily think that the problem with the New 52 was that it was dealing with dark stories. I think you have to do dark stories with your brighter characters to give them the drama occasionally.
I get where they're coming from though, because Wally was meant to represent all this hope, and this is the way things are going back to. And again, we talked about it in Doomsday Clock. That's John's thing.
Yeah, I think if you look at Wally as representing Rebirth, that's kind of what he was, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then to just kill him off here, basically off screen. We don't see the act in the first issue. I get where those people are coming from, but again, I can be reactionary. We all know this.
Oh, we know that.
I want to flip tables, right? But in an event like this, I've been reading comics long enough. Like, just relax and let's at least get 3 issues before you burn it down. And
And again, what I say is, okay, what is the effect of that if he represents Rebirth, and then the tease at the start of this is that Rebirth might be dead because Wally represented all the hope that we had, and he's gone. How does that make us feel? And again, you can argue about how effective that is, if it works or not, but I think the intent here is to use that to drive those feelings, and that's why I think that this is a tactic, and I think by the end of the book, one way or the other, if it's in this book or 2 months later at the end when Doomsday Clock finishes, I don't think we're losing Wally forever. I don't think that's the case here. But I mean, maybe I'm just in denial. Maybe I'm just like, I'm hurt and I'm not willing to accept it.
Maybe this version of Wally, right? That can't be with Linda because of different things, and it's a different. But maybe classic Wally after Doomsday Clock resets, where he has the kids, and it's, you know what I mean? Like it picks up right where Flashpoint left off.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's debatable if it's just cheap shock value, and if you think that doesn't work, and that's fair. If that's your complaint, then I think that's fair. But just see how it goes, I guess.
Personally, I don't feel that way, and I'm usually the first to decry cheap shock value at things, but it made me appreciate Harley because that whole scene with the pie, and it's weird, but her going in there almost like back into therapist mode or psychiatrist mode to talk Booster down. I appreciated that about her.
For me, exploring a darker story with these characters that are brighter, that are these heroes, for me it's about testing them and ultimately coming out more hopeful at the end because of them overcoming whatever this is. With the New 52, the problem was everything was dark and gritty, but it was dark and gritty without any kind of point or release from it. Yeah. Whereas there's a lot of fun stuff going on right now. You read the Terrifics right now. You're telling me that's not light and pulpy and fun and delightful. you know.
This is why I feel so strange about this comic, because like I'm not angry at that this has happened. I kind of just I'm not enjoying it, but I'm not angry. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's an issue. I'm not saying, we shouldn't be doing this. It's too dark. There's like I said, there's plenty of light stuff, and I've got room for both. I love dark stories. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if everything went off the way it was supposed to, we'd never have any of these stories. Conflict is good.
Yeah. So I'd say wait and see. Stick with it. Tom King is a good enough writer where I'm into how he presents the story. I think it's frustrating in this sense because it hits us with this really hurtful thing, and then we have to wait a month to possibly get any more of it. But I am into it enough. I like how big and epic it feels. I love the title page where you turn the page and it's just the field, and it's like says Heroes in Crisis on the field. That's a great title page.
Do you want to know one of my favorite things about the book? Legitimately.
Oh, go on.
Is the cover. The coloring as well, but the art as a whole, but the cover specifically. I love all those heroes. We obviously we've seen this image before, but It's something I didn't notice till I picked up my copy this week that they paired Dick and Corey together as the pairing.
Yep.
I was like, yeah,
Nah, that's not
Clayman
canon.
knows what's up.
Nah. I actually, I really like the Harley one where she's wearing Booster's, like, visor.
Mask.
Yeah. He's all bloody.
My shop didn't get any of the Superman ones. I was pretty disappointed.
Oh, that's the Matina one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Tina one.
No, mine just had the regular cover.
Nah, the Clayman's art feels blockbuster. It feels like a prestigious book because of his art.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Yep.
No, his art and Murray's colors are the best thing about the book, in my opinion.
Yep.
Just
like
hands down.
even if you're feeling iffy on the story right now, I feel like this would still be worth getting just for the art.
Like,
oh yeah, I don't regret buying it and just looking at the picture. You know, it's like, just look at the pretty pictures if I want to.
yeah,
I get my money's worth out of that.
Because we all know how I feel about Harley. Like, this character I don't enjoy, but the way man draws her, she's never looked better, I think. You know, and that's no slight to any other artist that's ever drawn her. But here, with the expressions and, you know, there's that page or that panel where she has her hand on her chin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when she gets the coffee and the pie. Like, it just looks great. So, and his Superman, Clayman Superman, I can't get enough of either. Even in these, you know, that page with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman on there, and they all three look great.
Yeah. No, I love in terms of just the art, I love the image of Superman floating in front of the house. That page when he's going to go in, but you can just tell he's not ready.
It's majestic. It feels. I always compare it to filmmaking because that's how I can kind of like sort of properly talk about what I mean when I'm talking about these terms, but it feels majestic in the sense where you've got these big wide vistas shots and you've got these superheroes flying and they feel larger than life, and it's not just all these quick little panels of chaos and action or whatever. It feels like there's a silent almost, you know, the silent beauty of the dread of like anticipating the bad thing behind the door, and it really builds that. So I think in terms of putting together as a comic book, it's really effective in that regard.
Yeah, the page where Superman's in the, like, it looks like the wheat or the grass, whatever it is, and he says, "I can't remember," and how small he is.
Yeah, he feels small. He feels like he's.
And it just reinforces that. And you look at the top of that page, and Hotspot has tears in his eyes. Like, it's just the small stuff in the art there that drive it.
I wonder, like, what if all this is about the Trinity? What if all of this is about putting them through something to make them go through this?
Well,
yeah.
That's what a crisis does, though. You know, they're the three focal point. You know, so yeah, it's this came from them. They are responsible for this by creating Sanctuary. Booster says that at the end, where it's pieces of all of them. And so if they had done this, what's this gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
Going forward,
yes.
That's why I've been telling people that didn't like it. I'm just like, all right, let's relax. Let's get a couple more issues, and then I'll understand, because it might not be for everybody. The people that don't like Identity Crisis, I understand it, even though that's a story I really enjoy.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of crossover between people who don't like Identity Crisis and people who don't like this.
Yeah,
I'm on the outside where I like Identity Crisis, but so far this isn't working for me.
But obviously you'll find out if that changes.
I'm gonna keep reading
As time goes. I mean, it's one of the sort of thing where it's the big event, so you kind of just have to. You're kind of locked in.
Exactly. I can go, right. I don't enjoy Bendis' Superman. I'm not going to read it. Fine, whatever. I feel like I'm missing out on that part of the universe. Don't be wrong, but I can live with it. When it's this is the universe-wide event. This is the big thing. No, I've got to read that. I've got to be up to date. I can't not be.
Yeah.
So I'll stick with it regardless, even if I end up hating it halfway through.
Yeah.
But by the way, I mean, I said this when it was announced, but this is our first crisis as a podcast. Just want to point that out. It's our first crisis.
Yeah.
It's a sweet moment in our
it's already
history.
made me feel things, and I feel like King's already checking boxes where he's like, "Oh, crisis, kills Flash, dink, done." So.
That's so good. Matt, what are you giving Heroes in Crisis issue 1?
You ready? I'm giving this a 10.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
It made me feel things. The art alone, like, yeah. I'm giving that one a 10.
Now, for some balance here, Connor, what you give Heroes in Crisis issue 1?
I mean, it's gonna feel really hard. I mean, I'm giving it like a 5.5.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Connor.
No, it's not a bad issue. It's not below a 5. Anything that's 5 or above is still, it's perfectly acceptable at the worst. But it made me feel nothing. I was just like, the craft is good enough, and the art is enough to, okay, it's competent, it's decent,
I guess
enough.
This is art in a nutshell. It's subjective.
Yeah.
My rating for Heroes in Crisis, Connor's rating is silly to me. Matt's though is a bit.
So Matt's rating is silly to me,
but is a bit on the high side for me as well. I obviously I am trepidatious. I feel a little bit numb about the events because I instantly went as soon as he opened the door. I was like, this isn't going to stick. But there's a lot of good drama to get from it and what happens to the characters. But the art is gorgeous. I like the way it's told. I like the interviews that are spliced in. I like all that stuff. It feels like a big epic thing. So I'm going to go with a very encouraging 8.5, which is closer to Matt than it was Connor's, for the record.
Yeah. I mean, Connor, I did tell you that this was the biggest issue for me. You know?
Yeah, so, but I wasn't. I was, even after everything we've just spoke about for about half an hour, I still wasn't expecting the 10. That genuinely shocked me when you said that.
Sometimes I throw a curveball.